Dayton's News and Talk.
It's that time again.
Something told me to turn on the radio.
It's showtime!
This is great. It's a nice break.
This guy, Todd.
Monday through Friday.
Getting restless?
5 to 7.
All right, I'm listening.
Let's start the show.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call me now, 937-457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Today, so we're gonna give you just a little bit of praise just for you. Well, you actually got off your couch today. You know we gotta give you praise. Sing that name. Oh, Todd, we praise you.
It is the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Tonight on the show, holy cow, we had a couple of cars crash into buildings this morning. Maybe one over the weekend, and I need some confirmation. Folks in the Inglewood area, maybe you know and you can tell me what the story is. But we will get to that. Also, a dumb ways to die for the ages. Has to do with a guy trying to get a selfie at a zoo. Bad choices were made. Also, we got a Florida man. We got an idiot of the week. Oh, my gosh. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. But the first thing, Ron, are you down there? Are you available?
Yeah, I'm here.
So, Ron, I see you as a reasonable, level-headed guy.
I try to portray that, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So let me ask your opinion on something, okay? So let's say you're pulling into, I don't know, Dunkin' Donuts in Kettering, Ohio, at the corner of Stroop and Wilmington.
Okay.
And you get behind a car that's pulling off a Stroop and into the entrance, and they're moving really slow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're slow. They're creeping along, right? And you're like, man, I got to get going. I got stuff to do. And you kind of look, and you look through the back window of their Prius,
mm-hmm.
and you see that they're on their phone, right? They're on their phone. They've got the phone up.
Behind the wheel, phone in hand.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just slowly making their way around the building.
Mm.
And then they get about 20 feet from the drive-through entrance, like where you go and you make your order.
Yeah.
And then they stop. They just stop right there in the middle of the road. Now, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If that would happen to you, what would you do?
Well, if they just stop right there, I would either give a little honk on the horn, or
right, yeah,
drive around them.
Yeah. So I did. I hit the horn.
Okay.
Right. I hit the horn, and I don't know that I gave him a toot, like beep,
right,
honk. It was more like honk. You know.
You laid in it a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I put a little of my weight into it.
Okay. Yeah.
So the car pulls up a little bit, maybe 2 or 3 more feet. And I see through the rear view, or through his back window, and he's looking in the rear view mirror. I see him gesture. And I couldn't tell. At first I thought, oh, he's flipping me the bird. But that's not what it was. It looked like, come, come, come this way.
Right.
And I
waving
thought,
you to the side.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I thought, well, maybe he, he had an important call. He had an important call, and he had to take it right there. And he was waving me around.
That's possible.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay. So I put down my window, and I'm starting to go around. And all of a sudden, I just kind of looking over in his direction. And every expletive that I can't even say the word. I was so frazzled. Every swear word came out of his mouth, yelling at me, ready to kick my fat blank.
Wow.
Yeah. And just going to town on me, and I stopped, and I'm like, dude, get off your phone.
Right.
And he's going and going and going. And I'm just like, well, then just go. Like, get in line. Just go. doesn't move. So I'm like, well, screw this. I go around him and I pull right up to the window or right up to the intercom to order. Putting my window down, and before I know it, I hear his wheel spinning, goes around me and cuts me off right there in line.
Okay.
And his car is like angled in.
He's driving a Prius right here, right?
He's driving a Prius.
Okay.
And he yells, he gets out of the car and he's ready to fight. I'm going to kick your ass.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do that. You don't pull up in front of me. You back this car up right now. You do it. I'm going to kick your ass.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, I just lock the doors and roll up the windows.
So you didn't roll down the window say, I'd like to see you try.
No.
Okay.
So I just sat there and I watched him, and I watched this performance. This was an unbelievable performance.
Right.
And a couple of times I picked up my phone, like, do I record this or does that just incite him even more? Because the thing we've learned now in society is that you never know who's got a gun on, right?
True.
And I thought, well, this is already a precarious enough situation. I don't need to escalate it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So after about 30 minutes of him going bananas, he yells, "Fine, fat boy, get your donuts." And he gets in the car and he drives off. Now, I should have just said, dude, I'm on keto. I'm just here for coffee, right? Maybe calm it down. And sure. Why is it people like that who are roided up? Because this guy looked like he was a workout guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was in sweats and he was probably in his 30s, you know, and he just looked like he was all keyed up and ready to go.
Maybe he benches his Prius.
He could, maybe so.
Yeah.
But why immediately do you go for the fat joke? Because it's like, dude, you know, I'm 54. I've been overweight all my life. You think that's going to hurt me? For crying out loud. Give me a break.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, he gets back in his car and he speeds off and comes about a foot from smashing into a car that was pulling away from the window. So I'm sitting there watching this unfold, right? And I'm going to be honest with you, my heart is beating. You know, because when that happens, you're like, what is going to occur? You know, what sort of situation have I found myself in? So I think he's leaving. And I'm like, oh, thank God, he's just leaving. No. He goes around the building.
That's too easy.
He goes around the building. I've got the window down, and the woman comes on the intercom. I am so sorry that happened, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I saw what happened. And then he almost hit a car leaving. I guess that's karma for you. But as he's driving to get back in line, he's still yelling at me. He's still yelling at me, calling me names.
Pretty amped up.
Oh, my God. Oh, my. And I'm thinking, this is at a donut shop. And it's not like I cut in front of 10 cars, you know. Yeah. First of all, I don't think I cut in front of anybody. Mm-hmm. He was screwing around on his phone, not paying attention. Probably didn't even know I was behind him.
Yeah, if you're that far back, you give up your spot. That's what I look at, the way I see it.
My car horn probably scared him. I probably scared him. Probably set him off. And that's what it was.
No, you know, I get a little cranky before I get my coffee in the morning.
I suppose, but this was like noon. You know, this was noon. So I was like, this is crazy. This is absolutely nuts. I can't believe this is happening. And then I thought for a second, well, you know what? I want to be the bigger person.
Right.
He was 2 cars behind me. I saw him pull up. He was still screaming and yelling. And I thought to myself as I was pulling up to the window, I said, you know what? I'm going to buy his coffee, or I'm going to buy his order. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm going to pay it forward.
Okay. Little olive branch right there. Say, hey.
Right.
You know.
But as I pulled away, I could still hear him yelling at me. And I was like, yeah, screw this guy. Screw this guy and his little red Prius.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to Oakwood or wherever you're from.
Maybe there's an inferiority complex there about the Prius.
I don't know, but I just couldn't believe that, because here's the thing. If you're parked at a stoplight, okay, and you're screwing around on your phone and the light turns green and you don't see it and you don't move and somebody beeps the horn, don't be mad at them. Be mad at yourself for not paying attention. And that's what this was.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this was. Some jerk sitting there, screwing around, not paying attention, thinks he's the only person in the world, doesn't care about anybody else.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, make up your mind. You either get in line or you pull to the side. That's it. It's very simple.
Yeah, some people just don't care.
Right. And somehow that's my fault. And somehow that should that elicits threats, bodily harm. I mean, he literally was standing on the bumper of my car. I mean, he was right there.
Yeah.
And I kept looking down. My car was in drive. I mean, I'm thinking, one more step, dude, and you're a pancake. You're a pancake. And I just can't believe that happened. I was shocked because I've never really had anything like that occur to that extent.
Yeah.
I've had people yell at me and I've yelled at people and it is what it is. But this was like, whoo! I mean, I'm getting worked up now thinking about it.
That was parking lot rage. That wasn't road rage. It was parking lot rage.
Right. Dunkin rage.
Dunkin rage. That's a terrible rage too.
It is. It is. And you know what? I called my wife. I said, you're not going to believe what happened. And she goes, well, I think you need to start going to a better coffee place. That doesn't happen at Starbucks. I said, I'm not so sure about that.
I'm not willing to find out.
I think that could happen, but it's going to be a Karen. Right, it's going to be a woman losing her mind on me.
I think so too.
Yeah,
I think so too.
But
I wouldn't hold Duncan responsible for this clown.
I don't.
You know what I mean?
I don't. And the woman, who got on the intercom was calm, and she's like, "I'm so sorry that this happened to you."
Yeah.
And I saw the whole thing. That's just unacceptable. And I was just like, man, oh man, this is
what a morning.
All over an overpriced iced coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like one car. It's just like one car. You can't wait one car.
Yeah.
And that's all I get. And my orders, I'm in and out in less than a minute.
Right.
Man. So I was telling my sister this story and she goes, oh my God, that's so funny. My husband found an article that next to BMW, Prius drivers are some of the rudest. And I thought, oh, well, there you go.
I think we did have that story last year.
That's right. I remember that. I'm like, oh, yeah. So anyway, that's how I started my work week. How about you?
I'm coming down with a cold, Todd.
Oh, man.
So, yeah.
Think I'd rather have
24 hours from now, I'm that guy screaming at you.
It could,
that could be possible.
That is a possibility. So, anyway, there's our road rage story for today.
What am I listening to now?
What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up.
T-O-double-D.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
Lordy. How's everybody doing today? Man, oh man. Well, that very well could be. But that, you know what? That's something else that I don't understand. I don't get that. You can order on the app and then go through the drive-thru and pick it up. Why just not order at the window? I don't understand that. Yeah, Ashley, I really did. I had my phone and I thought about just recording him, but I was like, oh, that's just going to take it to the next level. Well, then you know what? Then if that's the story, park in a spot, then order it. Don't order it while you're sitting in line. That's just stupid. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. All right, let me see. Barrett says, see what he said. I'm at work, can't call, but it was early morning. Don't remember the day. I told Clint. Inglewood, I looked over on my way to work, saw a car with their 4 ways on and 2 Inglewood officers. They crashed into the side of the Walgreens with the cage that holds the propane tanks. And it looks to me like there was damage to the wall. The picture that I saw looked like they boarded up a piece of the wall. Oh, Colleen, I'm sorry. I couldn't disagree more. Ugh, I can't stand McDonald's coffee. Not good. I can't. And their iced coffee is just ugh. Blech. I will agree it's a lot cheaper. No, it looked good, Baron. I mean, I could see it. I could see like a little piece of wood to the left of the cage. My order is simple. It is so simple. It's a large iced coffee with 3 cream. That's it. That's what I get. But look, see, that's the thing. It's like everybody has their different tastes, and that's fine. You're right, Courtney. It's not uncommon at all. I got another story about a girl in Indiana. Actually, Clinton sent me about something that happened at a car wash she was working at. I like that, Bill. Yeah, I like I said, I thought about it, but I didn't want to escalate it.
Most of last Friday's snow is melting away. We'll have the latest at 5:30. Now back to the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst on 1290 at 95.7 WHIO.
Well, he has quite the reputation.
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Just recounting the incident this morning at the Dunkin, where I was threatened by an angry road rager. 937-457-1290. I like their coffee. What can I say? Miles and Dayton, what's going on, Miles?
Todd?
Yeah.
I love your show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I love it. I love it. So I had a very similar experience. It was out. I don't know if I can say the name of the restaurant or whatever, but there was 2 lanes.
Okay.
You know, 1 lane on the left, 1 lane on the right. Guys sitting there in front. 4 or 5 cars go past me on the left. So I honked my horn.
Yeah.
Just like you did.
Yeah.
The dude gets out of his car, comes over and starts doing the same thing.
Wow.
And he starts banging on my window.
Now, see, I think at that point I'd be calling 911.
Well, you know what? I'm concealed carry.
Ah.
Now, I was ready to go.
Yeah.
Because if this guy came after me, I was like, I was just trying to, 4 or 5 cars go by me.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there doing the same thing on his damn cell phone.
Well, you know what somebody mentioned on the live stream, and this could be the case, that some people will order their drinks or donuts or whatever they want on the app and then go through the drive-through.
Right. I do that.
Okay, but see, here's what I don't understand. 2 things. 1, and somebody did mention that sometimes you can get better deals on the app. I understand that. But make your order before you get in the line. If you have to figure out what you want and screw with the app, get out of the way so other people who are just going through to place their order can get through.
I've done that 100 times. And I just pull around and go inside and say, look, I ordered this. What's going on? But this guy was banging on my window.
Wow. Wow.
And I was, my adrenaline went boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was scared. And you better not come inside my car, dude, or
yeah,
you're gonna regret it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, all I had was an ice scraper. So, really, not much I could do with an ice scraper. I gotta fly, Miles. I appreciate your call, buddy. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Yeah, you're not gonna do much damage with an ice scraper.
What am I listening to now?
What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up.
T. Oh.
Double D.
H.
Oh.
Double L.
S. T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
on WHIO.
You know, my grandpa used to carry a lead pipe in his car underneath his seat for such incidents like that. And I just don't ever want to get to that point, but holy cow, you know, just people unhinged. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that story, Clinton. You know, Colleen, I have mixed feelings because I think here's what I think. I do think that road rage has become a much bigger problem, and I think people have become less civil to each other, and I think it's because of, in part, social media. But I would also argue, though, that I think a lot of these things might have happened before, but we just never heard about it because it's not on social media. I mean, you go on TikTok and there's, a million videos of people losing their crap, doing crazy things. I would imagine that has always sort of gone on to a lesser extent for sure, but now we just see it so much. I know, Clinton. I do have this. I've got this little thing here that I've played before, and I almost played it.
A very bad case of road rage.
There was this road rage.
Should have just been road rage. You ever think of that?
And this guy turning right, like swearing, road rage.
I got road rage.
I just have so much road rage.
Please, keep the road rage to a minimum, folks.
Yeah, I was going to play that, but it just didn't go with my flow. Didn't go with the flow of the show. I think, Clinton, you or somebody mentioned that before, and I can't remember the song. I don't know what Alan Rance, who was the host then. I don't know what he used. I think it was Alan Rance who used that. Hey, David. David, if you're just joining us, you're going to have to go back and watch the beginning of the the show. Missed my rant about a road rage incident. Two by four numbs it. All right, we're getting ready to come back. Hang tight, folks. I'll be right back. Whack a Karen. Whack a fool. Actually, I love that. Whack a fool.
Remember, if any news, weather, or traffic breaks this hour, we will break in immediately. Now, it's more of the most powerful talk lineup on the radio. Listen live right now on the WHIO app, 1290 and 95.7 WHIO, Dayton's News and Talk.
Don't hesitate to call.
You call me? You better call me.
Damn it, get me a phone.
Call me on my radio.
I'm gonna call you.
You got him on the radio?
You won't make a simple phone call?
What is wrong with you?
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call me at 457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. So if you are just joining the show, I had a road rage incident this morning. Actually, it was around noon. The Dunkin in Kettering. Just trying to get my coffee. Some guy was screwing around on his phone, not paying attention, blocking the entrance to the drive-thru. And I just gave him a little toot, and I get what I thought was the wave around. It was the wave around, but then it was a barrage of expletives and threats, and it just kept going and going and going. And finally, he pulled in front of me, got out of his car, was ready to throw down. And, I was a little surprised. I was taken aback by that. I mean, he was in a Prius, which I thought was odd. I always thought that the people in the Prius were supposed to be the thoughtful ones for some reason, but guess not. 937-457-1290. Cowboy Jim in Brookville. What's going on, Cowboy Jim?
Hey, Todd.
Yeah.
You should have cowboyed up.
Well, like I said, all I had was my snow scraper.
Well, first of all, he's driving a Prius. Second of all, the kids were off of school today, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know.
Day.
President. Yeah.
So that was probably a school teacher.
No, I don't. Maybe. I don't know. I couldn't tell.
And then the trifecta of this formula is, if he went on and raved and ranted and raved like that, he's probably a narcissistic mama's boy.
Probably. Yeah.
So if you'd have got out and kind of fluffed up a little bit, he would have turned.
Well, I was talking to my sister about it, and she said, what do you think would have happened if you got out of the car? I bet he'd jump right back in because he didn't think that anybody would.
Sure.
But I don't want to take that chance. It's not worth it to me. It's not worth it to me. He didn't hit my car. He didn't, throw punches at me. I was safe and sound in my car. And like I said, he was right in front of me. If he had really become aggressive, I'm hitting the gas. Yeah. And I'm just run him over.
Now, with all the cameras around, if you'd have been passive and he'd have thrown the first one, instead of dialing 911 first, you call Dyer, Garofalo, Mann, and Schultz. You call them first.
Well, I've got my own attorneys that would handle that. But yeah, I get what you're saying, Cowboy Jim. I appreciate it. Yeah, I wasn't looking to escalate it. That's why I didn't pull out my phone to record. I really thought about it. I did get a picture of his car as he was driving away. So I got his license plate. But nothing happened other than him acting like a fool. That's not against the law. You see people acting like a fool all the time. But it is what it is. And I did learn, and I called my wife after this, and she says, this is why you can't toot your horn at people anymore. You just can't do it. Even if you're trying to help them out, right? They're not paying attention. You just give them a little beep, beep, beep. Just like, hey, the light's green. It's your turn. No, you have attacked their very being. Speaking of that, here's a story And Edgehead Clinton sent me this. And this kind of falls in line with people being unhinged. This happened in Indiana. There's a teenager there who was going viral with a video on Instagram. It's racked up 62 million views. Get this. She was working at a car wash. Okay? And if you've ever gone through one of the car washes like Flying Ace or Mike's or whatever, you pull up and there's somebody there sort of guiding you into the that little lane. You know what I'm talking about, where your tires they catch and they pull you through. Well, those folks will have usually like a mop or something, you know, a big squeegee, and they're squeegeeing off part of your car, or they've got a hose that they're just trying to, you know, get it wet and get it ready to go. Well, apparently this teenage girl, she's there. A white sedan pulls in, and the driver of the car, for some reason, rolls down her window and splashes the teen with a cup of lemonade. She just like, whoosh. So what does the teenager do? I think this was incredibly quick thinking on her part. She did have a hose in her hand, and that's right. The driver in the sedan got a face full of water. Just hosed the driver down. And video all over the place. She said, just power wash the window, and she power washed that driver. The girl told her managers what happened, and they reviewed the security video. The managers were not okay with the customer throwing a drink at the girl, and they banned the woman in the car along with her boyfriend from coming to the car wash anymore. But see, there again, like what instigated that? Like, why would somebody just pull up to a teenager or anybody? Doesn't matter if it's a teenager. Why would somebody just do that? Like, what is that about? It's just, you know, we were talking about this on the live stream. Like, why does this keep happening? Why do we keep seeing this? Is it happening more? Yes, it is happening more. I also think that it used to happen frequently, but we just never saw it because of social media. Now, you know, we see all the Karens and all the, I don't know, do we have a name for the guys that are crazy? The Kens? No, I don't know. But we see it all the time now because of video. So it seems like it's happening a heck of a lot more. It probably is. I don't know. There's no way to really tally that. But anyway, that's my road rage. We're moving on from that. But speaking of cars, the Kevins and the Kyle.
Dayton drivers keep on crashing, colliding into homes and stores. Every week, another thrashing leaves the building feeling sore.
So we have a number of cars into buildings to talk about. By the way, our 2024 tally is sponsored by the good folks at Tires Unlimited. Tires Unlimited offers over 75 brands of tires and light mechanicals to ensure road safety. You can check them out at tiresunlimited.net. Now, over the weekend, I got a picture of a Walgreens in Inglewood, and I asked for some confirmation at the top of the show. And actually, the person who took the photo was on the live stream and did confirm that a car did hit the Walgreens or hit the Walgreens in Inglewood. In fact, they saw the car and two Inglewood police cars there. And it looks like they hit the propane tanks that were on the outside of the building. Now, usually, and this was part of our guidelines, what we've said is that if a car hits some sort of, like, let's say like a flagpole, or in this case, the propane tanks, and those hit the building, it doesn't count. It's got to be car on building. However, there was, in the picture that I saw, it looks like a piece of wood that had been put up on the brick wall of the outside of the store. So I feel like it probably got hit. But I don't know for sure, and there's some debate between me and John Bedell about this. Going back and forth. Is it confirmed? Is it confirmed? I don't know. So we're going to investigate that and find out if, in fact, it did hit the building straight on. That would be number 20. Number 21 happened this morning. I got a lot of messages from edgeheads out there. Thank you so much. One person was injured after a vehicle crashed into a house in Miamisburg. This happened in the 900 block of Blanche Drive. According to cops, one person was taken to the area hospital. Hopefully, they're okay. Details of the extent of their injuries were not available. Then, a couple of hours later, in Kettering, one person was taken to the hospital after a vehicle crashed into a house near Wilmington Pike and East Ron Road. I know exactly where that is. And I, again, got several pictures from folks. Thank you so much. Police told News Center 7 crews that 2 vehicles were involved in the crash. So again, hopefully nobody was seriously hurt. But if the one in Inglewood holds, that would put us at 22 for the year. And once again, you can see the complete 2024 tally, sponsored by Tires Unlimited, on my Facebook page.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Valerie, a bridge does not count. That was a discussion that we had a couple of times about the rules. And while a bridge is a structure, it's not a building. And basically what we've decided is that if the structure has a door and it's like a building, then it counts. And that also goes for water towers, because we had that incident in West Carrollton. The water tower there was hit, and we did count it. Now, that was last year. But we've decided that we're not going to count something like that unless that water tower has a door. And sometimes you see water towers that actually have a door. You know, on the, like, there's an entryway on the bottom. Usually it's not one of the water towers that have 4 legs, but this would be the like a water tower that has, it almost looks like a giant mushroom, if you know what I'm talking about. Oh, Sandy, okay, so you did not see any damage to the brick wall. Well, that could be the case. Could be the case. Because one of the things that we decided at the end of last year was that it doesn't, like, the way we were always sort of doing it is that we only talked about the ones that were reported in the news, whether it be on WHIO.com or one of the other TV station websites or the newspaper or whatever. Because there was even an article today, and thank you, Colleen, for sending it to me, about one building in particular, that building there on Wayne and Water Valete. that keeps getting hit. But I get pictures from folks, and for some reason maybe it doesn't get covered in the news, right? They've got other stuff going on, so they don't send a crew out. Yeah, I don't know. I'd be interesting to see if they do have or if they would give me the security footage. Yeah, Valerie, that was it. It was at the one right by the Meijer. Right by the Meijer. Kettering and what is that? Stroop and Wilmington. Oh, it was around noon. And there was a nice woman came on to the intercom and was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry that happened. I saw it happened. I heard him. I'm so sorry." So the folks there at Dunkin were very kind and calming. And it was a woman that I spoke to through the intercom, but it was a dude at the window who gave me my coffee and everything. So I don't know who it was. Yeah, Bruce, I'm sitting here in the studio, and we've got Fox News on in the master control, and I saw the story. Yeah, it was sometime around noon. I don't know for sure. Well, I can tell you, I took a picture of his car. Let's see, what time did I take that picture? Right at noon. It was right at noon. Coming back.
McAfee Heating and Air Studios. Breathe easy. Choose McAfee. WHIO Dayton and WHIO FM Pleasant Hill.
Rain is set to return later this week. We'll have that for you at 6. Now back to the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst on 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
Something told me to turn on the radio.
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday from 5 to 7. Coming up next hour, we got an Idiot of the Week. We got a Dumb Ways to Die. And this Dumb Ways to Die is classic. This is one of those deals in India. And it seems like, I don't know, every other Dumb Ways to Die takes place in India. And I guess it's because they've got 10 billion people. That large of population, there's going to be a pretty significant number of idiots who do dumb things that end up taking their life. But we're going to talk about that coming up. Michelle and hang on. Hey, Michelle and Beaver Creek, how you doing?
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, I was responding to your beeping car thing.
Oh yeah, tooting your horn at the guy at the Dunkin', and he lost his mind and was ready to throw down.
Well,
yeah,
we have traveled a lot because my husband was Air Force, and in other countries, especially like in Turkey and some of those countries, they beep their horn at everything. It is not an insult. They beep if they're going to pass you. They beep if they want to say hi. They beep for everything.
Right.
So I have this brilliant idea, but somebody else has to invent it.
Oh,
with the car makers or something.
Yes.
They need to have, instead of a horn, they need to have this little voice that says, "Hey, it's your turn." In a sweet little voice. Or
there should be.
Hey,
you know what, Michelle? I like this idea. There should be different horns for different scenarios. Right?
Exactly.
Like
so
a little
nice horns, and mean horns, and
right, like a beep.
Exactly.
And then be like, it's kind of a little nudge, right? Listen, a little nudge, and then
so
sort of
got to invent this. That's smarter than us.
Or a beep, like beep, just means like, hey, pay attention. I'm not angry.
Yeah.
And then you
or a little voice or something that says, "Hey, it's time to go."
Right. And I think we need this for when you're really upset. All cars should come equipped with.
I totally agree.
Trucker's horn.
I totally agree.
Yeah, I had a friend growing up who put a system in his car where he could actually talk through his CB, and it came out like I guess it was part of his CB, but there was a speaker underneath his hood, so he could actually talk to people.
I think that's cool, but I think people could abuse that.
I think
get rather rough if everybody did that.
I think it's illegal too, but we did it anyway.
Messages would not be so bad, or
right?
You're saying, nice beeps and mean beeps and things like that. I think that'd be a great idea.
Something very gentle on the soul.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, Michelle.
Get on it.
Thank you.
Invite it.
Get it done. Get it done. I'm going to my lab and I'm going to create a new series of car horns.
What am I listening to now?
What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up.
T.
Double D.
H.
Double L.
S. T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO. This is the station Dayton turns.
I like that idea. Different different car horn beeps for different scenarios. Not a bad idea. I like that, Colleen. I love that. That's right. Yep, Susan, that's the one my friend had. But it also, the one that he had also had a microphone. And it looked, I want to say it looked just like a CB, radio handle or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? Well, look, everybody needs their coffee, Valerie. Far be it for me to cause someone to not get their coffee, but yeah. It was just so unhinged. I just couldn't believe it. And all over a a cup of coffee or donut or whatever. And what was so funny to me is it was just, here's this guy, and I'm a big guy. I know that. And he's also calling me fat names. And it's like, come on, man. Do better than that. Do better than that. I would love to see that footage. I doubt that they would share it. Big bone. That's right.
Remember, if any news, weather, or traffic breaks this hour, we will break in immediately. Now, it's more of the most powerful talk lineup on the radio. Listen live right now on the WHIO app, 1290 and 95.7 WHIO, Dayton's News and Talk.
All right, so time.
Can we get the show on the road?
I've been waiting for it all day.
And not a moment too soon.
Listen to talk radio.
This guy, Todd.
Monday through Friday.
5 to 7.
He's weird.
Best thing on the radio.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call me now, 937-457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Watch this.
Yo, they call me Big Cheesy T. I'm the rapping cracker with rhymes that slice, sharp like cheddar. A landlord swear I'm cut to impress. I'm packing the punch. I'm bringing the zest. Dayton, Ohio, my hometown jam. Baked and toasted, but I ain't no gram. I taste so divine, way beyond measure. Night or day, I'm your guilty pleasure. Oh yeah, man, you gotta love me. You gotta love cheeses. I'm cranking out squares of cheesy flavors. No matter your crave, you're gonna savor. Rap on me, I'm a snack supreme. Better than cookies and dry saltine. I'm a bold little cracker, tasty and quick. A handful of me will do the trick. Stuff me in your mouth, I'm so damn fine. Maybe even pair me with a box of wine. I'm stacked cheesy goodness no one can destroy. I'm crispy, I'm crunchy, I'm one of a kind, and Dayton made. I'm showing my pride. Hear my rap, my big cheesy treat. Build a statue of me, let my orangeness gleam.
It is the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday from 5 to 7. Over the weekend, I'm not kidding, I probably got 10, 11, maybe a dozen messages and emails from people showing me a picture of a bottle of ranch dressing, Hidden Valley ranch dressing, Cheez-It flavored. Now, I see these pictures floating around the interwebs, and I don't know if they're real or if it's just clever Photoshop or it's somebody's dream. You know, maybe if they make the photo with the Cheez-It, they'll will it into existence. I don't know. But I looked on the Hidden Valley website, and I didn't see anything about Cheez-It flavored Hidden Valley Ranch. So I'd be curious to know if it's the real thing. If it is, that should become a standard at every restaurant in Dayton, as of course Cheez-It was born here in Dayton. So I'd be curious to know what the story is on that. Maybe somebody really has seen it and not just some, picture on the internet, because every photo that people sent me, it was the exact same photo, which makes me think that, it's just Photoshop, probably made with AI. You can't trust anything anymore. Also, I just want to mention this Saturday, February 24th, at the International College of Broadcasting. I am a graduate of ICB, as is Ron Otto. There's going to be a free podcast workshop hosted by yours truly. So if you'd like to get details on that, go to my Facebook page, or you can go to the ICB website, icb.edu, and you can register to go. And it's just anybody who's interested in doing a podcast. You could be brand new to the idea of doing a broadcast or a podcast, or maybe you're a little more advanced and you're looking to sharpen up your skills. Whatever the case might be, I will be there answering questions and showing some on-hands training, demonstrating. So if you'd like details on that, go to my Facebook page, and you can find a link. We have a Dumb Ways to Die.
Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die.
Whenever we do Dumb Ways to Die, we always mention, and this is true, we're not making fun of these people and their untimely demise. This is merely a cautionary tale for you when you are out and about in the wild. If you're not paying attention, death could be waiting for you around any corner. And we've had a number of incidents over the years of people dying tragically while trying to take a selfie. And most often, it basically takes place on a mountainside. Somebody tries to go a little too far out onto the ledge, and they slip, and that's what happens. Now, from time to time, we have an idiot who tries to get a little creative at a local zoo. And this happened in the Tirupati, is that right? Tirupati, India. There's a zoo there. Tirupati. 43-year-old man was mauled to death after entering the lion enclosure at the zoo. Police say that the man, identified as Prahlad Gurjar, I can't pronounce that, I'm sorry. Let's call him Pete. identified as Pete, climbed to the top of a water tower and jumped down into the enclosure so he could take his selfie with the lion. He also had to scale a 4-foot wall and a 6-foot iron fence to reach the interior section of the enclosure. So not only did he have to climb to the top of a water tower. Oh, and by the way, yeah, he was drunk.
Beer.
But I will say, to be drunk and climb to the top of a water tower, drop down, and then climb a 4-foot wall, and then climb a 6-foot wall, that's pretty impressive. Now, it doesn't say how drunk he was, but still, you know, if you're juiced up, trying to climb is not easy. It's just not easy. Authorities say the man appeared to be intoxicated. Yeah. Once the lion saw the man, it rushed across the enclosure and attacked him. A reporter for the Times of India says the man tried to climb a tree to get to safety, but within 10 minutes he was dead. So he could climb the tower, he could climb a 4-foot wall, he could climb a 6-foot wall, but couldn't climb a tree. I feel like a tree would be easier to climb, wouldn't it? They reported the man also only suffered a neck injury where the lion bit him, that he likely bled out. Ugh. Can you imagine being at the zoo with your kids? You take the kids to the zoo. It's a lovely time. Kids love the animals. You're there. You're watching. And this idiot climbs the tower, climbs a couple of walls, and then gets eaten right there, in front of everybody. Workers at the zoo lured the lion into a cage outside the enclosure so they could go inside and recover the man's remains. Pete, we're calling him Pete. They said an investigation into the incident remains ongoing. And that's kind of interesting because you would think that trying to keep people out of the lion enclosure would be the zoo's top priority. Of all the animals, right? A lion or a tiger or an ape. That to me would be like, this is your number one job. You got to keep people out of the enclosure. That someone didn't notice that someone, in this case, a drunk guy, could climb a water tower and somehow drop behind, a secure area and climb a couple walls, and there he is, face to face with the lion. You would have thought that somebody would have seen that and thought, oh, this looks like this could be done. We should not design it this way, or we should put up netting, like they have at ballparks now for foul balls. Netting to keep people from falling into the lion pit or the tiger pit or the ape pit or whatever pit there might be at the zoo. That is crazy. And thank you, by the way, Edgehead Leslie, for sending that story. She just commented on the live stream. I sent that story. You did. So I'm giving you some props. So thank you for that. 937-457-1290. Let's do, we got an idiot of the week. This one's good too.
You are a stupid idiot. Comes from upbringing. Parents are probably idiots too.
I mean, that guy could have been an idiot. But
Wake up, idiot. Silly dilly dilly, I'm an idiot. Yeah, that's true.
pick and choose. Now, this one's a little different. This is actually here in the States, and it has to do with a politician. Oh, my gosh. Imagine your shock. This is taking place down in Tennessee. There is a state legislator. Let's see. He's a Republican. Okay. Not that it matters, but he's just Republican. He has introduced a bill called the Tennessee Prevention of Drunk Driving Act. Now, that sounds impressive, right? I mean, anything that we can do to cut down on the number of drunk driving accidents and fatalities. And according to this guy, his name is Ron Grant, that drunk driving accidents have gone up in his state since 2018 by 68%. including fatalities. And according to local news there, 2 years ago, the state representative himself was hit head on by a suspected drunk driver. So I understand this guy wanting to propose a law to try to curb drunk driving. That makes sense. And I think most reasonable people would be like, okay, sure, let's try to come up with a constructive way. His constructive way is a bill that would make it illegal for businesses, i.e. grocery stores and gas stations, to sell cold beer. Not beer in general. It just can't be cold. That's pretty idiotic, isn't it? Cold beer? Is that the problem? Is cold beer? I would love to know if they could, and I'm sure somebody's studied this. It's like the people that are driving drunk and causing accidents. How much of it is beer? How much of it is liquor? Right? But cold beer? That makes no sense to me. Now, I guess this idea is that, well, if it's not cold, nobody's going to drink it. Okay. I got news for you. Drunks, alcoholics, they'll drink it. It don't matter. If they are there for the juice, it don't matter if it's cold. They're going to drink it. Crazy, crazy. But I think that's kind of idiotic. I understand the idea of trying to curb it 100%. But simply saying, well, you can't sell cold beer. If you want to even make the argument that you can't sell cold beer at a drive-thru, okay. I mean, I don't agree, but I get it. But a grocery store? It's a little backwards to me.
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Is it really that way in Indiana? You can't buy cold beer in Indiana? Really? I remember being surprised when I went to visit relatives in Pennsylvania. I had never been to Pennsylvania before. And we went and stayed with our relatives, who, by the way, are not drinkers. But they were fine with us, Mary and I getting some drinks or whatever. And we couldn't, you couldn't just go into a gas station and buy alcohol. I mean, beer. Very strange. It's those Puritans, man. It's the puritanical influence. Yeah, I don't get it. I'll tell you, you want to know a real problem in Tennessee, and this is absolutely 100% true, because I spent a year at college in Tennessee. So I've lived there, and I know what I'm talking about. There are some counties in Tennessee, and I don't know how many. Let me back up. I don't know if it's this way anymore, but when I lived in Tennessee, I lived in Harrogate, which is right in the Cumberland Gap. There are dry counties that you cannot buy alcohol. So what do people do? They go to a county where they can buy alcohol. They drink to their heart's content, and then they drive home to their county that's dry. Yeah, that's stupid. You can't buy it. That's just ridiculous. I don't understand. I don't understand it. You know, not to make it political, I'd love to know. I'm sure that it's probably conservatives who, in those states, who want that. And that just is so, goes against, in my mind, what many conservatives stand for. You know, individual freedom, individual responsibility. But yet here's this law. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that disrespectfully to anybody who's Republican, but I can understand some people maybe on the left is saying, oh, we got to make a law. Not on the right, though. It's like you're supposed to be able to be free and live your life and, you know, be free of regulation and crazy laws and all that. But, oh, you can't you can't buy cold beer. They're probably part of the ice cartel. You know what I mean? They're in cahoots. They're in cahoots with the ice making people. Yeah, that's right, Larry. Well, yeah, South Carolina, the Bible Belt. I had somebody not long ask me if I'd ever live in the South. And I said, only in Atlanta. Because it seems like in Atlanta, things are sort of, you know, normal. But when you get outside of Atlanta and out in the sticks, certain parts, it is the Bible Belt for sure. Yeah, I've had that happen to me, Larry. Not super thrilled about that, but what are you going to do? Fortunately, what I drink, I mean, candidly, it's like I drink the White Claw, I drink the Surge. I put it over rocks anyways. I mean, ice. So it goes over ice anyways, so it doesn't matter to me, but coming back.
DPS set to announce a new superintendent tomorrow. We'll have the latest at 6:30. Now back to the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst on 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
What do we know about this guy, Mr. Hot Stuff?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday from 5 till 7. Coming up, we are supposed to get a visit from News Center 7, Storm Center 7, weather specialist Nick Dunn. He made a sort of an impromptu appearance on Friday because we had that snow, but he was going to come on to the show tonight, and I was going to play for him his walk-on music. But he was here on Friday, so we played it. But so what? It'll be fine. We'll get to meet with him a little bit. Lori and Clayton, what's up, Lori?
Hey, what's up, Todd? How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good. Hey, I know that you're a Cheez-It freak, and I don't know if you've heard that Taco Bell has a temporary new item. It's a Cheez-It filled Crunch Wrap.
Is it Cheez-It or Cheetos?
Cheez-It.
Cheez-It.
Yes. And they're also keeping the nacho fries, cheesy nacho fries on there permanently.
Wow. Now, have you had it yet?
No, I don't know if it's out yet, but I don't know. I need some meat in there. I don't know if it's got other stuff in it. It doesn't really go into detail, but.
Oh, I got you. All right, well, I'll have to check it out. I'll have to check that out.
And report it. And let us know.
I will give you a full report. Thank you, Lori.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
Justin in Springfield. What's up, Justin?
Hi, Todd.
Hey.
Hey, just wanted to make a comment about the cold beer law that was proposed.
Yeah.
Indiana, actually, the entire state, it's illegal to sell cold beer.
Somebody said that on the live stream, and that sounds preposterous to me.
I agree.
I just don't get that. And and I also brought up during the live stream, see, that's the thing, Justin. A lot of people don't know during the breaks, the show continues, and you can watch it on the live stream. In Pennsylvania, I went to go visit some relatives a couple of years ago, and they aren't drinkers, and we were staying at their house, and they didn't care if Mary and I went and got something to drink. And you can't just get it at a normal place. You can't get it at a gas station or convenience store or whatever. You have to go to a specific like grocery store, almost like a state store.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah. And it's like, I'm like driving around going, where do I, and the thing that's interesting to me is down in Tennessee, and that's where this guy's from who wants this bill that says you can't sell cold beer. And he says it's because of increased number of drunk driving accidents and fatalities. And I understand that. Well, I went to school in Tennessee for 1 year back in 1988. And it was college. And I remember that there were dry counties in Tennessee because it's the Bible Belt. And, there's a lot of counties you can't drink, you can't buy alcohol. What happens is people will then go to another county over, or sometimes 2 counties over, where there is alcohol, where there is a bar, and they go there and they drink, and then they drive home.
Yeah, which kind of seems contradictory.
Exactly. Wouldn't you rather have a drive-through in your town that somebody can zip in and zip out and go home, instead of them driving, 30 minutes away or whatever it is, and then getting looped up and then drive home?
I can't disagree.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It makes no sense. I thought we were supposed to, sort of be free to do whatever we wanted like that. It's just weird to me.
Yeah, make responsible decisions.
That's
and,
exactly
if you
right.
don't, then hopefully you don't impact somebody else.
Yeah, I got you, Justin. Thanks for your call, buddy. Have a good one. That line's open, 937-457-1290. And I just saw him walk into the radio wing. The radio wing. It's Nick Dunn. He's coming up.
What am I listening to now?
What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up.
T-O.
Double D.
H.
Oh.
Double L.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
If any news, weather, or traffic breaks this hour, we will break in immediately. Now, it's more of the most powerful talk lineup on the radio. Listen live right now on the WHIO app, 1290 and 95.7 WHIO, Dayton's News and Talk.
Don't give me that politics, Jazz. It's not my racket.
People are tired of hearing nothing but doom and despair on the radio.
Everyone just relax, all right?
The problems of the world are not in my department.
Now, who'd like a cookie?
It's the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call me at 457-1290.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Back here on the Evening Edge, Monday through Friday, 5 to 7. Well, weather specialist Nick Dunn from Storm Center 7 was scheduled to be on the show tonight. We had talked, and I said, hey, I want to have you on because I want to play your walk-on music for you. And he said, oh, sure, yeah, I'll be there. Well, then on Friday, we had that crazy snow move into the area. So he was here a day or so early.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Which was fine, which was all good. I was glad to have you on. But you got to hear your walk-on music. First of all, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. The snow's gone pretty much for most of us at this point.
That's right. I love that. Yesterday, in fact, my wife and I were musing about the fact that where we live on the side of the street that gets all the sun. And
I'm the opposite.
People on the opposite don't get the sun because of trees and whatnot. So all of our driveway and sidewalk was completely dry by 1 o'clock.
Yeah, so I'm on the side of the street that doesn't get all the sun, and so you could tell where the sun stops because there's a certain part of the yard from that part down to the street it's gone. But from that part of the yard up to the house, still a decent little bit of snow, but it'll be gone in a couple of days.
Before we get too far down the path with this, we gotta
just a cool dude with a big
gotta
dream,
hit that.
talking weather like you never seen. He's got the dew point and the wind chill. Nick Dunn, a big time weather thrill. When the clouds roll,
I want that on a t-shirt for you, by the way.
You gotta make that happen.
Big time weather thrill.
No need to wonder. He's like the lightning before the thunder.
And this, I think, is the longest one that I've done.
Nick Dunn, we call him Thunder. Lightning, then the thunder. Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning, then the thunder. Thunder, thunder.
I still got to get that
it.
to you. So he agreed on Friday that whenever he walks into a room, he will play that on his cell phone. He'll just hit that. So he's got his own walk-on music, any room that he goes into.
Yeah, I played it on Saturday when I was here, and Xavier and a couple others liked it. So, yeah.
Love it. I love it. All right. So we got a couple of things to talk about. We got to talk about weather because you said that we may be approaching a record this week.
Yeah. What's interesting with that is the entire meteorological winter, which runs from December 1st to February 28th, or in this case, the 29th, because we have a leap year.
Sure.
When you take the high for every day and the low for every day, you add all that together, and then you divide that by the number of days that have went by so far. Our mean temperature is 36.9 degrees, which doesn't seem that bad, but the record warmest mean temperature for the entire meteorological winter is 37.3. So, and that was just set last winter. So we're not that far away. Now, we were actually tied with that last week, but then we had that brief cold spell. I think there's a good chance we may break that as we go through the rest of the next. We got about 10 days or so to go.
Because we're talking 50s and maybe even 60s.
Yeah, we could even see 60 this time next week. So I think we got a good chance to break it.
Can't wait to try my new Mankini.
I wear shorts all the time, so I love this. Yeah.
So, well, that's cool. We got a couple of calls. We were talking about this crazy beer laws, and down in Tennessee, there's some lawmaker who is talking about making a law that says you can't buy cold beer at a grocery store or a convenience store.
That's interesting.
And apparently in Indiana, that's already the case. But Joanne and Dayton, what's up, Joanne?
Hi, how are you doing?
Good.
Now, I'll make it quick. Now, people should not drink warm beer because that's what makes people get drunk. Because I used to do that all the time. Drink warm beer so I get drunk quicker. You need to drink cold beer if you want to stay sober for quite a while.
Okay,
I know that from experience myself.
Okay, so take Joanne's advice.
Started that they're in the wrong.
Yeah. Take Joanne's.
Okay.
Take
Thank
Joanne.
you.
Yep.
Okay.
You got take Joanne's advice. If you want to get drunk quick, drink warm beer. Apparently. So there were a couple of things I wanted to talk to you about, just to get your take on this. Because yes, you could talk about weather all day.
We sure could.
But you have other interests. You have opinions on other things. What do you think about world records?
I think some have merit to
Yes.
them.
Yeah.
Like Larry just did one over the weekend,
That's right. The stand-up comedy.
Yeah, the stand-up comedy.
81 hours of stand-up comedy nonstop. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I've got a record that I'm calling BS on, but let's
Guinness World Records America.
hit our little
He's setting a new world record. You're looking at a guy who's going to set a new world record. That's another world record.
So I have a dream that I would like to set a world record. And I'm always looking for an idea. Like, what could I do? Me, Todd, 54, a bit tubby. What sort of record could I do? Well, it's probably not going to be anything physical, right? It's not going to be walking backwards, the fastest mile walking backwards. We had that last week.
Yeah.
Some woman did it in like 7 minutes. Walking backwards, she walked a mile. Amazing. Yeah. It's not going to be anything like that, right? I'm not a good juggler.
No, I'm not either.
I've tried riding unicycles before. Not a good thing. And I saw this one and I thought, well, wait a second. If this is really a record, I bet I could do this. And I want to get your take on this.
Yeah.
Now, the person who set this record is a young girl. She's like early teens. So let's just say this up front. I am not ridiculing this young girl for doing this. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not picking on this girl, but this is an actual record.
Okay.
A young Washington girl broke a Guinness World Record when she donned 45 sweaters at her local library. So here's the record. She's going to wear 45 sweaters. She's going to put 45 sweaters on. Each sweater individually had to be pull each garment down to her waist before moving on to the next one to comply with the Guinness World Records rules. So all this record was putting on sweaters.
For me, there's no way I could do that. I hate getting hot, and that would that would put me into overload right there. Like,
you'd become multi, right?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
She also had to ensure that none of the sweaters ripped, as any damaged sweater would not count towards her total. Now, how is this a record? How is this a feat of any great ability?
I also would like to know the thickness of each sweater.
Well, that's a good point. I saw a picture of her with her 45 sweaters, and I couldn't tell, how thick they were.
Yeah.
Because not all sweaters are made equally.
No,
right?
they're definitely not, especially the hooded ones.
Right. So some of these sweaters could have been much thicker. They could be very thin. She broke the record for the most sweaters worn at once, which was previously set by an 11-year-old French boy. He wore 40. Now, here's the other thing. There's no time limit. It's not like you have to put these 45 sweaters on in 5 minutes.
You could take all day.
You could take all day. And I'm thinking, wait a second. I could do this. I could do this.
If you give it a shot, I'd like to see it.
If I could find, 45 extra large sweaters, I could probably do it. Now, this is the other thing that's odd. This girl's mother told local news that it took her daughter a lot of time to gather enough sweaters for this attempt. Well, she lives in Washington. She lives in the United States. Goodwill. One word, goodwill.
Yeah.
That's where you go. Right? I mean, it just seems to me that doesn't.
Yeah. Then do you give them back after the,
Well, here's what's cool is the sweaters were then used. They donated them to charity.
Oh, so I got ahead of you.
Yeah. So I like that idea. But my point is, when you think of world records, Guinness World Records, wearing clothes should not be.
That's definitely
one of the records.
It's definitely not one of the traditional ones that I would think of.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd like to. How could I feel like I could do something like this, but maybe not with sweaters. You know those baby doll T-shirts that women wear, like the little bit, and they're like a midriff kind of.
Sure.
I could wear 45 of those. I bet.
You going to give it a shot?
I would do it. I would do it for charity, and then we could donate all the midriff baby doll shirts to all the women out there who are looking for baby doll midriff shirts. Right? There's probably a population out there that are like, I can't find enough of these. Where can I find them? And I could give them away.
You could.
Yeah.
You could.
I would. You know what I could do? I could stand on a corner somewhere and I could put them on, right? And then after the record is set, women who want them can come by and I'll just peel them off. It'll be like a strip tease.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah.
That's one way.
Fat guy in a midriff. So anyway, I thought that was kind of an odd record to break.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Now here's my second question. I want to get your take on this one as well, Nick Dunn. There's a guy in Washington D.C. who purchased a Powerball lottery ticket January of last year.
Okay.
Okay. January 6th was the date that he bought it. A few days later, he checked his winning numbers and he went to the website and he was shocked to find that his numbers matched 6 numbers that were on the website.
Okay.
So he's like,
got it all.
He's like, oh my gosh, I've won $340 million. So he takes his ticket and he goes to the lottery office.
Yeah.
And he says, hey, here's my ticket. I won. Well, it turns out he didn't win.
Oh.
There was a company, a third-party company, who was doing some software testing on the lottery's website.
Oh, no.
And instead of having the real numbers that were posted on the 7th, he didn't look on the 7th.
Okay.
Which was when the drawing was. He looked on the 8th. This company accidentally posted 6 what they thought were fake numbers. They were testing, but they posted it on the live website, not a sort of offline website.
Okay, so I got 2 things on that. Number one, there are so many combinations possible, first of all.
Right.
There's you could get any combination in the world of numbers. Why would you try to post something not, I don't know, maybe I could be way overthinking.
No, I get what you're saying though. I get what you're
Yeah.
saying. But the thing is it wasn't supposed to go public.
No, and that's true.
Right.
That's
and
true.
It was supposed to just sort of be offline and they were
Yeah.
testing this software, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, now the guy's suing. He's suing because he thinks he should get the $340 million.
Well, he's not going to get it.
Maybe.
Oh, really?
Now, here's the thing. I'm sure, there's something in law that you've probably heard of called precedent, where if something happened before, there's a history of it. Well, apparently in Iowa last year, there was a mistake made similar in nature.
No way.
And the company ended up paying the people who thought they had won, but really didn't. But because the numbers were posted, they ended up getting paid.
Oh, well, then this guy does have precedent to stand on.
Though it was only between the winning money between $4 and $200.
This is
not $340 million.
That's an issue. Now, the second thing I'm going to actually have something related to that. You may have already talked about it last week, but there's a person in Florida just didn't realize that they won.
Right.
Yeah.
And the ticket expired.
Yeah, the ticket expired.
You're SOL, buddy.
Yeah.
SOL. Yeah. So it's interesting because I on one hand, I feel like, well, he shouldn't win. But on the other hand, if somebody else kind of had the same experience and they ended up getting paid, and should it matter that, one ticket was for $4? Okay, we'll pay them. The other's $340? Quite different.
Yeah,
quite different.
That is quite different. I agree.
All right, we got to run here, but we'll be back in 1 second. Hang on.
What am I listening to now? What is this?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
It's a radio show. It's entertainment.
Fill it up. Double D. H. Double L.
S-T. I can remember that.
Locally grown, seriously funny.
I'm puzzled by the whole thing.
On WHIO.
For your Tuesday, we do anticipate a mix of clouds and sunshine across the Miami Valley and temperatures returning to above normal with an afternoon high approaching 50 degrees. I'm Storm Center 7 weather specialist Nick Dunn for Dayton Severe Weather Station 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
There you go. 45 Evening Edge t-shirts. Yeah, I don't, but it's got to be like, it's got to be, I don't know. Isn't that crazy though? Isn't that a weird sort of record? Just simply putting sweaters on. I don't know. Just, what are you going to do? Mankinis. Thank you, Anna. Want to hear it again? Why not? Just a cool dude with a big dream, talking weather like you never seen. He's got the dew point and the wind chill. Nick Dunn, a big time weather thrill. When the clouds roll or the snow falls, storm fronts, high winds, hail and golf balls. Nick's there, no need to wonder. He's like the lightning before the thunder. Nick Dunn, we call him Dunder. Lightning and the thunder. Dunder, feel the dunder. Lightning and the thunder. Dunder, dunder. Her name is Gabby and she does the news at night. Big stories, breaking news, she always gets it right. And when she shines beneath those Channel 7 lights, oh, Gabby, Gabby, you're a newsy delight.
WHIO FM, Pleasant Hill.
Temperature set to push slightly higher for your Tuesday. We'll have the latest at 7. Now back to the Evening Edge with Todd Hollst on 1290 at 95.7 WHIO.
And Tom, what were you again?
The Evening Edge with Todd Hollst.
Call Todd now, 937-457-1290, or message him at Evening Edge Todd.
Locally grown, seriously funny on WHIO.
Well, that's the show. We're out of time. That last segment went a little long. Have a great night. I'll talk to you tomorrow just after 5. Don't forget, you can get the podcast at eveningedgetodd.com.
That's it. I'm pulling the plug.
You know what? I'm done.
Well, is that it? Is that all?
Oh, that was fun.
Show's over, ladies.
Not bad, huh?
Well, you get an A for effort.
Good night, sweet prince.
Peace out, player.
See you tomorrow, same time, same place.
Good night, everybody.
He's sweeter than a sorbet, creamy guy, and smoother than Beyonce. You can't deny his smile brings a brighter day. We want Dante.
Everybody have a great night. See you tomorrow.